Hi everybody. We're going to be kind of following along with my PowerPoint because I kind of don't know how to upload that. I will also say right now though that I will be citing my sources in an additional document underneath this link. So hopefully it works. And yeah, let's get started for that. Sorry, let's give it a moment. Um, Campos, and we're going to be talking about gender in the media and how it's affected by color and queerness. So let's begin. We have our first slide, and it's discussing why most of our media is represented by white individuals, and why does it hypersexualize women. So let's talk about hypersexualization first. We have the movie Summertime, that is targeted to the male gaze, and this idea that women are there to please men. Um, and it's kind of ridiculous. It's archaic. It's misogynistic. And then when we compare that to Brokeback Mountain, a movie that kind of tricked its audience into thinking they were going to go see a cowboy movie, it turns out to be a gay romance. And why didn't they represent the movie in like a gay movie, like two characters kissing like this one? And I would say it's because the audience is predominantly like male, and that would not fit the stereotypes and the social discourse that they're trying to perpetuate. And then we have the happiest season, which is cast predominantly white, versus Fire Island, which its main character is Asian, which is something typically not seen because Asian people are seen as not masculine enough. So let's go on. All these movies, Call Me by Your Name, The Danish Girl, Love Simon, Brokeback Mountain, are God's Own Country, are represented by white individuals. It creates a problem where it kind of hides the intersection where queer individuals of color come out, go through love stories, go through that character development. We kind of negate the ability to see their coming of age stories. And then we could also see God's Own Country and Brokeback Mountain are represented in like this hyper masculine way where it's kind of indicative of a movie set in the countryside, and that's just not the case. Well, it is the case, but it's not the only reason that those two individuals are there. And then, sorry, we're working our way through. Unique insight that queer sensitivity contributes to discourse of sexuality, including possibilities of empowering transgressive female sexuality. Let's move on. Things that we're doing to take care of this is we've created research and research surrounding domestic abuse and women, especially when we have the idea that queer individuals don't face domestic abuse because they're in loving relationships. That's not typically the case, and it's sad to say queer individuals still go through just as much trauma as non-queer individuals, and we need to talk about that. We also need to create platforms where they feel safe, and hotlines like this website, which is Women Against Abuse. And then we have ways to fight against violence towards queer women. We can create empirical research that emphasizes the dynamic and the relationships that queer people face when interacting with the heteronormative world around them. We could also create safe spaces in public spaces for women. That way we can lower their undesirable interactions with men who are looking to sexualize them for their sexuality. And then we could also create legislation, something that I think is very important, such as town and city ordinances that can limit and penalize the unwanted approaches by men onto women. What else can we do though, as you and I as individuals? I think we could talk about the situation on multimedia platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We can inform straight males about how they make queer women and women of color feel and how that creates an unwanted and unsafe environment. We could break stereotypes of women by supporting shows and empowering women that don't hypersexualize them for their sexuality. We could donate to institutions that support women who have been through traumatic events to counter some of that hypersexualization that they have seen. We could vote. The most important thing is we could vote for representatives that know the struggles that women face with their bodily autonomy, especially nowadays. So that is. And that is pretty much what we could do. Sorry, I cut off at the end. I was trying to exit out and say that that's the end of my presentation. It kind of also skipped over the part where Sofia Vergara and Salma Hayek are there. I was talking about hypersexualization of women of color and how they are represented by their bodies primarily, and we kind of it also kind of skipped over that next slide where it talks about women of color being valued by their body primarily. On that second point, and then how queer women of color provide a specific point of intersection and information to the world around them. So that's pretty much my presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed it and can advocate a little bit more for women of color in a heteronormative society and create safe spaces for queer women of color so that they don't feel marginalized any more than our community already has. Thank you so much.